have respect for Senator McCain. I used to like him a lot. I supported him. I raised a lot of money for his campaign against President Obama. And certainly if there was a misunderstanding, I would totally take that back. I would like him, however, to do something with the 15,000 people that were in Phoenix about illegal, immigration. They are being decimated. These people are being decimated. And I would love to see him do a much better job taking care of the veterans bill.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is our friend Matt Kibbe, Senior Advisor, Concerned American Voters. That's concernedamericanvoters.com, and of course, author of Don't Hurt People and Don't Take Their Stuff, a Libertarian Manifesto. Welcome back, Matt.
Hey, Steve. Good to be with you.
Thank you. Good to have you. All right. So your PAC is supporting Rand Paul, if I'm correct, right?
Correct.
All right. How does all this, before we get to what Trump has said about it, how does all this attention on Donald Trump, do you feel, affect, let's say specifically, Rand Paul's chances?
Well, specifically, Rand has been working on the ground in states like New Hampshire, Iowa, Nevada, places that are going to matter, the early testing grounds. But generally speaking, Donald Trump is taking some of the oxygen out of the room, and the main beneficiary today appears to be Jeb Bush, who's sort of the establishment favorite, the guy that's a lot of these insurgents like Rand are looking to challenge. I think that's a temporary thing, but right now it's hard for other candidates to get into the public perception.
When you hear what's going on, I mean, Donald Trump, I think what he said about John McCain was reprehensible. I don't like John McCain's policies. But you have to respect the fact that he was a prisoner of war, for crying out loud. I think there were other ways Trump could have gone about it. But then you got Lindsey Graham, calling him a jackass. And today Trump responds by giving out his cell phone number reportedly at an event and calling him a name. And then he calls this one a name. I mean, isn't this exactly what Hillary Clinton is sitting back and smiling at?
Well, it's definitely what Donald Trump wants to do. He wants to start an argument. He wants people to pay attention to him. That's his whole modus, and he's very good at it. And I do think that on the upside, what Donald Trump is proving is that authenticity, someone that appears to be speaking from the cuff, someone that says what they think even when they haven't thought it through. It's a little bit refreshing compared to the canned, pre-processed stuff that the Republicans have been offering for so many years. That said, I think he's going to fade over time, and the last thing that Republicans want to do is give him too much attention by calling him names and egging him on. And yes, Hillary Clinton is having a good time right now because it distracts us from the policy issues we should be talking about.
So when the polls come back, as the yesterday again, ABC News Washington polls came back, and Trump has increased his lead on the Republican side. Are we to believe that these are the people John McCain would call crazies, or is he resonating, as you alluded to in a way, with the average Republican who likes the fact that Trump says what he feels and feels what he says, and he's not reading off a script?
Well, they look at him as an outsider. They look at him as a successful businessman, and they look at, and particularly when guys like John McCain and Lindsey Graham start piling onto him, that only reinforces their understanding that Donald Trump must be the good guy, because those guys have been in Washington our entire lives and they haven't gotten anything done. They've sat by while the debt grows higher. They haven't been willing to challenge Barack Obama. So I think his enemies are helping define him as better than he actually is.
All right. Now, as far as Rand Paul, once again, you told us what he's doing. Is the first debate, do you believe, a big deal for someone like Rand Paul, maybe more so than some of the others? Does he need to do something to distinguish himself, or am I making too much of the first debate?
It's going to be hard for anybody to do something with such a crowded field. You're going to have 1-minute responses to questions that really deserve a little more attention. Rand doesn't have to prove himself in the first debate. He just can't screw it up. And I think the new politics lends itself to exactly the strategy that Rand Paul is pursuing, which is building the mechanics and building the ground game in states like New Hampshire and Iowa and Nevada, states that are going to test a lot of these candidates, presumably sort of cull the herd as we get into round two. So I don't think that Rand has to prove himself in the first debate. I do think he's a capable debater who knows his issues. And as long as he gets a chance to respond, he's going to do quite well.
And one more quickly, he was one of the first to announce, and again, sometimes you get lost in the shuffle afterwards because now there's been 15 others that have had the news headlines after him. So was that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it was a good thing because, again, it allowed him to build that machinery. And now you have John Kasich announcing today, and I'm not sure anybody's going to notice.
Yeah. All right, Matt, keep it up. We'll speak to you soon. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, Matt Kibbe, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, the co-founder of the Tea Party Express, Sal Russo, will weigh in. Don't go away.